welcome to the second annual Stuntman Awards. I gotta tell you, that was some trip. Beats anything at Disneyland. Look, I'm proud to be here again to honor those men and women who possess extraordinary skills. Skills which create excitement. Skills which enable the stuntman to take extreme risks. And yet skills which are irreplaceable in the making of an action-packed adventure. And one such skill is like that of jumping out of a helicopter, which you just saw. And which it didn't happen to be me, but I'd like you to meet the man who did it, who doubled for me, dropping 50 feet out of the sky, my stuntman, Mr. Mick Rogers. Thank you, baby. Mick Rogers. Thank you. Thank you, Mick. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to thank Jet Copters and the pilots, Peter McKernan Jr. and Kevin LaRosa, for helping make that last stunt possible. Now, tonight, we're going to honor the work of some of the top stuntmen and stuntwomen in the world. We'll look at films and television programs of the past season and highlight the most exciting and difficult stunt performances. 7 stunt organizations and the independent stuntmen submitted their choices for the nominations from films and television programs first released or aired from October 16th, 1984 through December 31st, 1985. Now, these choices were then voted upon by blue ribbon committees, determining the nominees and the honorees. Now, unlike most award presentations, we use the term honoree instead of winners. 2 honorees will receive the Stuntman Award in both the television and film divisions for each category. Thank you very much. It's time for our first award of the evening, and it's for Best Vehicular Stunt. Here to present them is the younger half of TV's detective team of Simon & Simon, a very beautiful movie and television star who has turned her talents to producing, and the newest member of the Ewing clan on Dallas. Ladies and gentlemen, Jameson Parker, Jennifer O'Neill, and Dak Rambo.
Thank you. Good evening.
Jameson, since you spend a lot of time in a car on Simon & Simon, I think you'd be the perfect guy to explain to the audience what a vehicular stunt is.
Well, that depends. If I'm involved, it means getting the car door open. But for stuntmen, if you've ever seen a car chase, a motorcycle jump, turning over of a bus, cars crashing into one another, or any combination of a stuntman and a vehicle that travels on the ground, then you have seen a vehicular stunt.
The nominees for Best Vehicular Stunt in television are Henry Kiji and Chuck Tamburo for the A-Team, Gary Hines for Hardcastle and McCormick, Mick Rogers, Stephen Davidson, and Keith Tellez for Cover Up, Jack Hill for Hap Nelson, and Terry Jackson and Russell Solberg for Hunter. Here we have the envelopes, please.
Okay, who stole the envelopes?
Thank you very, very much.
I believe them.
Well, let's see here. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, the first honoree for the Best Vehicular Stunt in television is from Hardcastle and McCormick, you and the horse you rode in on, Stephen J. Cannell production. Stuntman, Gary Hines.
And here to present the awards, the star of Hardcastle and McCormick, Daniel G. Kelly.
On behalf of Brian Keith and everyone associated with Hardcastle and McCormick, I'd like to thank Gary Hines for that fantastic stunt. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank a lot of the people in this room tonight, and you know who you are, who have contributed to the show down through the years.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you all very much. It's a great honor to be up here. And I really can't thank our second unit director, Gary Combs, enough for setting it all up and making it all work, and all our special effects people and everybody behind the scenes. Thank you very much.
Okay. The next honoree for Best Vehicular Stunt in Television is from Hunter, the Shooter episode, a Stephen J. Cannell production. Ladies and gentlemen, the stuntmen Terry Jackson and Russell Solberg.
And here to present the awards is one of the stars of Hunter, James Whitmore, Jr.
I would, on behalf of Hunter and Stephen J. Cannell Productions, not only like to thank these guys for that extraordinary bit of activity, but also for taking the impossible things they're given every week and not only making them possible, but making them better than anybody ever imagined.
Well, the first person I'd like to thank is Terry Leonard for giving me the opportunity to do such a job, and it's just a pleasure knowing him and working for him. I'd also like to thank the effects guys and the camera guys and everybody in post-production that makes everything we do look so good. Thank you.
Now the nominees for the Best Vehicular Stunt in Film are Billy Hank Hooker, Tim Davison, Dick Zeiker, Steve Davison, John Meyer, R.A. Rondell, Cindy Lee Rice, Jimmy Nickerson, Bobby Bass, Jeff Dashnaw, and Gary McClarty for To Live and Die in L.A. Gary McClarty and Eddie Dono for Beverly Hills Cop.
Buzz Bundy, Mike Tillman, Reed Rondell, Corey Eubanks, Orwin Harvey, Richie Birch, Wyden Clark, Everett Creech, Vince Dedrick Sr., Mike DeLuna, Joe Dunn, Larry Holt, Bill Lane, Gene LaBelle, John Moyo, Peter Stater, Jerry Summers, Steve Watts, and Al Wyatt Jr. for Darryl.
Let's have a hand for Jim.
First honoree for Best Vehicular Stunt in a Film is from To Live and Die in L.A., a United Artists production.
There's a minor tie-up on the North Long Beach right near Henry Ford.
Incredible, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, the Stuntmen, Billy Hank Hooker, Tim Davidson, Dick Zeiker, Steve Davidson, John Meyer, R.A. Rondell, Cindy Lee Rice, Jimmy Nickerson, Bobby Bass, Jeff Danshaw, and Gary McCarty.
Here to present the awards is one of the stars of To Live and Die in L.A., Michael Green.
I'd like to thank Buddy Joe Hooker for his brilliance as a stunt coordinator, action director, and to William Friedkin for his genius as a filmmaker, and to the people who finance our motion picture and television projects. Thank you.
Next honoree for Best Vehicular Stunt in a Film is from Beverly Hills Cop, a Paramount Pictures production. Ladies and gentlemen, the stuntmen Gary McClarty and Eddie Dono.
And here to present the awards is the director of Beverly Hills Cop, Martin Brest.
Everybody knows how good you guys make actors and actresses look. And I'd like to thank you for making us look good, too.
Gary couldn't be here tonight. He's out of town working on another show. But in the event that he won an award, he wanted me to thank everybody that he worked with on Beverly Hills Cop and all of his fellow stuntmen for voting him this award. And thank you very much.
And now here to present the awards for Best High Work is a former All-American basketball player who currently works as a cop on the Hill. The cheerleader you love to hate from Animal House, who now stars on Scarecrow and Mrs. King, and an actor who plays Dallas's newest heartthrob, Matt Cantrell. Please welcome Michael Warren, Martha Smith, and Mark Singer.
Hey, Michael, tell us, what is high work?
Well, first of all, everybody look up. All right, simply put, high work is stunt work in, on, and off high places like bridges, buildings, planes, helicopters, and even ceilings. You see anything yet?
Studios,
I'll let you know.
No?
No.
Well, the nominees for Best High Work in Television are Mike DeLuna for the A-Team, Vince Dedrick Jr., Jerry Myers, and Mike Johnson for MacGyver, the pilot. Spiro Rosados for Magruder and Loud. Norman Howell and Ross Reynolds for MacGyver. Pegasus Gambit Thief of Budapest episode, and John Meyer for Cover Up. May we have the envelopes, please?
All right, here we go.
This is yours.
Moving right along here. The first honoree for Best High Work in Television is from MacGyver, the pilot episode, a Paramount Pictures production. Vince Dedrick Jr., Jerry Myers, and Mike Johnson.
And here to present the awards is MacGyver himself, Richard Dean Anderson.
On behalf of John Rich and Henry Winkler, the executive producer of MacGyver, and the entire crew, because I know each and every one of them called me tonight and told me to say this.
We want to thank these three guys for kicking us off in the right way. I also want to thank the guys who are running the cameras that used a long, extremely long lens on Jerry here, because he did that fall, and he was supposed to be me, and I...
Ladies and gentlemen, Vince Diedrich!
I'd like to thank Jerry Friedman, the director, Henry Winkler, and John Rich, the executive producers. Also like to thank these guys. You guys did a hell of a job. And Phil Chong for pushing the button at the right minute wherever you are. Also like to thank my father, Vince Dedrick Sr., who's also with us tonight. He's one of the... He's given me a lot of help over the years. He's one hell of a stuntman. I love you. Thank you.
The next honoree for Best High Work in Television is from the A-Team, Judgment Day episode, a Stephen J. Cannell production in association with Universal Television.
Just stay at home, Judge. Wait for their contact. I'll be in touch. Hi, guys.
Stuntman, Mike DeLuna.
And here to present the award is Perry King, representing Stephen J. Cannell Productions.
In the 5 years I've worked with Stephen Cannell Productions, I've seen dozens of incredible stunts, and with a safety record to match, which to me is even more incredible. As an actor, I'm proud to work with all of you, and I know everybody on the A-Team is proud of you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Craig Baxley for giving me the call. And I'd like to thank Dick Zeiker for giving me my first call. Thank you.
The nominees for Best High Work in a Film are Alex Stevens and Dar Benjamin for Code of Silence. Bob Yerkes, Frank Ferrara, J.P. Romano, Joel Kramer, and Steve Lambert for Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. Dar Robinson for Stick. Soren Jensen, John Clay Scott, Tony Jefferson, and Walter Wyatt for Runaway Train. Runaway Train. And Bob Yerkes for Commando.
The first honoree for Best High Work in a Film is Stick, a Universal Studios production.
What's the matter, Bunny Eyes? Losing your grip?
Please help me.
Why don't you push real hard? You might hit the water.
Present the award is one of the stars of Stick, Charles Durning.
Dar also did the stunt
preceding that one, which was me going off the... he dressed up in this slimmed-down outfit, and he went off, and then ran up and did his own. But I got something to read to you before you make your speech. This says, congratulations, you were brilliant. I wish the movie was just as good as the stunt. And that's Burt Reynolds.
I want to thank Burt Reynolds, Universal Studios, Charles Durning, and all the people involved in Stick. And especially I want to thank you. Thank you very much.
The next honoree for Best High Work in a Film is from Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, an Orion Pictures production. Stuntman, Bob Yerkes, Frank Ferrara, J.P. Romano, Joel Kramer, Steve Lampert.
And here to present the awards is Remo Williams himself, Fred Ward.
It's a real pleasure for me to be able to present these awards to these 5 very special stuntmen. I'd also like to personally thank them for watching out for me when I was up there.
Having immigrated from France, I'm truly honored to have been eye to eye with the Statue of Liberty. This is not only an award for stuntmen, but it truly represents freedom and opportunity, and I thank you.
Our next category is Most Spectacular Stunt Sequence. And here to help us with the awards is an Emmy-winning actor who went from playing a hard-boiled detective named Beretta to playing a hard-boiled priest named Rivers. A talented actress who keeps things interesting as Val Ewing on Knots Landing, and one of Hollywood's finest actors and classiest gentlemen. Here are Robert Blake, Joan Van Ark, and Robert Wagner.
Thank you very much, and it is indeed an honor to be standing here tonight, bookended by 2 of the most dashing, handsome Roberts in Hollywood. Right, Robert B.?
Well, the truth of the matter is none of us had much choice about it, because who's going to say no to the stunt people? They'll liable to wind up running over you on your next gig, so we're all kind of giving this response. Go ahead on, say what you do.
Well, it really is an honor, and I'll tell you exactly why. To all of you stuntmen, thank you. To the ones here tonight, to the ones sitting at home, and the ones that are gone.
Amen.
Thank you for taking the risks and making the action so incredibly exciting. Tonight's recognition is really well-deserved, and we thank you all very, very much.
The nominees for the most spectacular sequence in television are Norman Howell and Ross Reynolds for MacGyver, Jerry Willis, Fred Lerner, Jack Verbois, Tim Gilbert, Pat McGroarty, Cliff Happy, Bernie Pock, Mick McGaha, Bill Ryusaki, Jim Ortega, Bob Cummings, Dave Cadiente, and Fred Waugh for North and South, Part 2. Jan Schultz, John Gamble, Andy Gill, Clay Boss, Alan Gibbs, Andy Epper, Gretchen Becker, Kerry Russell, and Todd Keller for Riptide.
Chad Randall, Greg Barnett, Freddie Heiss, Debbie Davis, Peter McKerney Jr., and Ron Stein for Airwolf. And Orwin Harvey, Gene LaBelle, Gary Baxley, Jerry Spicer, Corey Eubanks, Brian Williams, John Moyo, Mike Tillman, Chuck Waters, Buzz Bundy, Bear Hutkins, Karen Cullen, David LaBelle, J.P. Romano, Larry Holt, Paul Lane, Jim Winburn, Bill Lane, and Yannick Darian for Hollywood Beat. May we have the envelope, please?
Stunt check.
What is this?
What happened? You all right?
I hurt myself in rehearsal, but I still have the envelopes. Say, man, you ought to go home and take care of yourself. I got it here somewhere.
Yeah, well, you better take care of yourself, huh?
Yeah. Thank you. I think that was my agent. The first honoree for most spectacular sequence in a television is from Airwolf. Stuntman, Chad Randall, Greg Barnett, Freddie Heiss, Debbie Davis, Peter, say that one, McKernan Jr., and Ron Stein.
And to present the awards is the star of Airwolf, Jan Michael Vincent.
The stuntmen go from stuntmen to directors and to producers. They know the whole business, they know it all backward, and they know it forward. And that's the truth. Thank you.
On behalf of my colleagues and myself, we'd like to express our sincere love and thanks to Ron Stein for giving us the opportunity to do the things that we enjoy most in this business. The unparalleled flying of Peter McKernan Jr., looking out after us, almost giving me a haircut on this particular footage you'll see. The impeccable, safe special effects of Whitey Crumb, absolutely fantastic. And again, we can't say enough for the things that we're allowed to do and be in this particular business. I know on behalf of all of us.
The next honoree for most spectacular sequence in television is from North and South Part 2, a Warner Brothers television production.
Take your position behind
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stuntmen, Jerry Willis, Fred Lerner, Jack Verbois, Tim Gilbert, Pac McGordy, Cliff Happy, Bernie Pock, Mick Magawa, Bill Ryusaki, Bob Cummings, David Cadente, Jimmy Ortega, and Freddie Wall.
And here to present the awards are two of the stars of North and South, Kirstie Alley and David Carradine.
I learned two things when I was doing North and South. One was that it's hard to do a war movie without battle scenes. And two, it's hard to do battle scenes without a brilliant stunt team, and we had the best.
I've worked with just about everybody out here. One of them, every one of them, has either beaten me up or I've beaten them up one time or another. And I just want you to know I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy you guys are here to cover my back, you know?
Thank you very much. I know when I talk and express my thanks, it's for everybody up here. We'd like to thank Warner's and David Wolper, our executive producer, Chuck McLean, a fine producer, Paul Freeman, who is really a big fan of all stunt guys, and Richard Heffron, the director, who there was really a lot of pressure on Dick. We did a thing in 3 days. It should have taken more than a week to do. So we thank you, and we're really proud to have this.